Hi, my name is Rod Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you guys know, this is where we interview people that are crushing it in this business, and we show you the inside scoop into how multifamily investors are not just creating massive success in their businesses, but also in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host, who's the director of my massive action team for my Warrior Mentorship Program, Mark Nagy, on the call. Mark, what's up with you, bro?
Hey, not much, Rod. For people listening, just keep an eye out on this podcast. We have got so many good episodes coming out over the next few weeks. And so just keep refreshing and excited to add another good one here today.
Yeah. And let me say this before I introduce Paul. You know, we've got a couple of boot camps coming up, and one of them is virtual and one of them is live. And so I decided, I'm not sure I'm going to continue to do the virtual ones because I love the live ones so much. And so we're doing a 2-for-1 on both. So one is, and this episode, you'll have plenty of time to do both. August 28th and 29th is a virtual boot camp. And then the live one is in Orlando, December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And so, it's a hell of a deal. It's like $297 or something for both of them, which is cheaper than most people charge just for one. And so kind of a no-brainer. And if you're interested in that, text Rod in Orlando to 72345, or you can just go to rodinorlando.com, and it's got the 2-for-1 deal there. So let me introduce my friend, Paul Hasselbrook. And now Paul was already a pretty significant success in life. He's been a financial planner and been in the family office field, and he's done a lot of private equity and real estate projects. And when he came into the Warrior program, he had over 120 doors. Now he's, he's done $85 million worth of projects. He's in 521 as a GP now. But Paul's a great guy, super motivated and excited to dig in with him. Paul, welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's have some fun today. So, I kind of glossed over your bio there. Could you give a little more meat and just talk about your progression into this business and do a little better job than I did?
Yeah, no, I'm from the Midwest, and I had a financial planning business there for 15 years. That sort of morphed into a family office practice where we were doing a lot of different work for high net worth families, including due diligence on private equity stuff. And 2016, I helped put a deal together on our first multifamily project and was instantly hooked on the asset class. So I ended up exiting that business in 2019 to pivot full-time into commercial real estate. And I've just been focused on multifamily since that time frame.
How long ago did we meet? Where did we connect and when did you get?
I ended up finding the Warrior program because I was trying to listen to a bunch of different podcasts, and I found this podcast. And, your message really resonated with me. I was trying to build a business, talk about designing your life and building a business that gives back to you what you want. So that was how I ended up going to the first conference and joining the program.
Where was that, virtual or a live one?
That was a live one. I actually signed up for the program in 2019. And so I think you were we went to Baltimore.
Baltimore.
The Baltimore
okay. I like to vicariously remember the events. That's why I asked the question, because I miss it. I'm so freaking excited about the Orlando one coming up.
Me too, brother. I cannot wait to be in person again.
Right. Oh man, it's going to be a big one, I think, because there's a lot of pent up demand. The goal is 1,000 people, and I usually reach my goals, so I'm pretty excited about it. So anyway, did I cut you off? Were you finished with what you were saying?
No, I just I ended up moving to South Florida, where I'm based now, and I went through the Warrior program in 2019, and have been focused on multifamily acquisitions here in the Southeast and in the Midwest since that time.
Where in the Midwest?
I'm from Iowa, and so we've got assets in Iowa, in Wisconsin.
Oh, fantastic.
Kind of the upper Midwest.
Fantastic markets. We have a lot of Warriors up there too. That's awesome. So let me ask you this. You what you've done has been a little bit different. In fact, I'm always touting that this thing's a team sport, and you have kind of created your teams one-off, asset specific. Is that correct? Rather than putting together a team to go after deals one right after another, as you encounter an asset, you put together the team to take down that asset. Yes?
Yes. Yeah. I had a partner in my previous business, and I just felt like for right now, I wanted to really, what I got out of the program was really the due diligence side of it, like especially the physical stuff, because I came in from the investment analyst and capital raising side of it. And so I've really been focused on that part of it. And, so far I've done 4 deals, and each time I've had different partners on each deal. Yeah. It's definitely a team sport, as you say. I just haven't found like my exact team that we're out long-term replicating deals. Yeah.
Long-term team. Yeah. Got it.
Still dating.
Right.
Dating a lot.
But you are looking for it then. So you would love to have, a core nucleus of you and 1 or 2 other people, so you're not killing yourself for every deal. Is that an accurate statement?
No, that's very accurate. I don't think I can achieve the scale that I'm seeking completely on my own.
Right. Okay. So, now I don't remember, forgive me, what's your personal situation? Married, kids? Just refresh my memory.
I've got a daughter, and I'm dating someone right now. So
okay. Well,
in a relationship.
I was leading up to another question, and that was, what have you had to sacrifice to achieve the success that you're blessed to have so far?
That's a really hard question.
If anything,
I think in my situation, a lot of sacrifice occurred with my previous business, and that business sort of set me up for where I am right now. And so, what I took away from that was I wouldn't say I was exactly burned out, but I sort of felt like I was running too hard. And so when I was talking about work-life balance, like what I've been trying to do right now is really build out the systems so that this business can grow without just absolutely killing myself.
Yep. Good. Yeah. Good.
So I want to dive into money raising here, because I know that's a big part of your background and what you do here. And frankly, that's probably the number one biggest concern that I get from people jumping into this business is, how am I going to raise the money? So where do you even think just people should start? When getting started raising money, where should people start when they're looking to raise money for their deals?
I think the secret to raising a lot of money is having a lot of experience and success. And so I would imagine for Rod, it's a lot easier than it is for me. For people just getting started, I think you end up starting with your personal network. I started by going through my address book and my phone and contacting everybody that I was connected with professionally on LinkedIn with just simple messages, reaching out to say, here's what I do. If I had a real estate investment that looked really interesting, would you take a look at it for your own portfolio?
Good message.
Wow. Did you find that to be successful?
Yeah, very successful. That's how I got to where I am today.
Wow. Well, there's a great tip.
The thing was that I had a network with that family office business that we sold, right? But when I sold it, I got into a non-compete situation where I can't talk to my best investors. So when I started in 2019, I really started at 0 and really focused. And so last year, when I had some downtime during COVID, I really amped up my LinkedIn marketing. And I think I started with like 300 qualified investors in my CRM system, and I wanted to grow it to 800 by the end of the year. And I think I landed at like 450. So I came up short of my goal, but I increased by 50% the number of people that I can talk to about a deal when I have it.
You shoot for the stars. If you hit the moon, you're still doing okay, right? And that's what you've got to do. I love it. So that was a great tip on the LinkedIn, just outbound, message strategy. That's super, super powerful. Now, let me ask you this. Did you sort through those investors to select the ones you were going to target? And if so, how?
I did sort through them. The criteria was a little bit profession focused. So I had a lot of connections to medical professionals. So I kind of focused on that as one of my niches. And then just anybody else that I knew was a business owner, or maybe they had posted about investing before. So I did try to qualify people a little bit.
Fantastic.
And there are ways to automate LinkedIn, but I didn't do that. I chose to just organically sit down each night and just kind of pluck away at sending out a bunch of DMs and trying to contact people and engaging, getting them to opt in that way.
I will tell you, I think that's much more effective. That's how I built my podcast. I literally sat and I messaged everybody in my Facebook profile, people I had maybe seen 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And I said, hey, I'm not sure if you remember me, blah, blah, blah. And just started a real conversation and it worked. So let me ask you this, because you've got some family office experience and it's been a while since I've had the family office guru whose name's escaping me right now. That's embarrassing. But you know who I'm talking about? The guy that runs the family office club?
Yeah, down here. He's in Miami.
I remember his name though. That's
is it Richard Wilson?
Richard Wilson. Thank you. I've spoken to my mastermind, everything else. But since you've got experience in that, and I know you just did a deal with a family office, can you talk about how that happened and maybe give some tips or strategies for someone? Probably not on their first deal, obviously, but unless they align with someone that's done some deals like you've done, how can you get a family office interested and how might you approach them, and just some tips there?
So I think, first of all, what is a family office? So there's a lot of financial advisors around the country that you can reach out to and try to introduce yourself. And I think a lot of them their hands are tied with their compliance departments. So I've had less success there. A family office is a family or a group of families that are wealthy enough that instead of hiring a CFP, they build their own financial advisory practice for their own wealth. And I've connected with them through LinkedIn, through associations. There's, at least around me, there's a couple different groups, and they have like networking events, or you can sponsor conferences.
I know Richard does as well. I know that, but so there's others as well then. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. He has one in Miami, and then there's one, there's a separate family office group in Palm Beach that I've gone to some of their events for. And so a lot of it is just talking to, it's almost like, for me, it's been asking for referrals. So when you ask someone, if you ask someone who's already written you a check for a referral, most of the time their head goes to who they know that's wealthier than them. They want to, I don't know why this is, but if you ask someone for a referral, they're going to turn you on to someone that they perceive as successful because they want to give you a good lead. And so the family office that we did the deal with on the Fort Lauderdale acquisition earlier this year, I got introduced to them, started talking about what they were looking for. The advantage to me is that there's these institutional investors like family offices that can write bigger checks. Mm-hmm. So, having the ability to find bigger pools of money allows me to grow faster. Sure.
And the thing that you need to be aware of, guys, is if you're going to deal with an institutional investor, private equity firm, a family office, you're going to give up something. It could be some control, some decision making. You could give up a piece of the general partnership, a piece of the GP, and I know that's very common. And just expect that. They're going to want a little more if they're stroking a big check. So that's important.
Yeah. I think the sponsor needs to know what they need out of the deal, because sometimes there's things attached to that check that make it not worth it. And so you have to know what you're getting yourself into and what you're willing to do.
One of the assets we bought in Kentucky, the guy didn't want to sell it. It's a great asset that we own I don't want to say what I was about to say. A great asset that we own. I lost my train of thought because I almost said something I shouldn't have said. But the seller had to sell because he had private equity involved that made him sell, and he didn't want to sell. So there's an example of that control that you want to be careful of. Just read the fine print and be very, very clear on what what you're getting as well as what you're giving away. In that, do you agree, Paul?
I agree completely. Yeah.
Love it. Well,
Yeah.
Paul, I know when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned that this year, right after COVID and everything's kind of opened back up, you've been crushing. I think you said over 350 doors just this year, right?
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah,
so,
things are going great.
Yeah,
I gotta keep it going.
Yeah, what's got you excited looking into next year, right? In 2022, what's got you excited about the market here looking forward?
I don't know. I think for me personally, I want to keep doing what I've been doing. I want to keep replicating what's worked. I do have a couple people working for me now on like a contract basis, and that's helping things go faster. So I feel like I'm getting my feet underneath me and getting some positive momentum. Where I'm at, I would love to buy some stuff locally in South Florida, but the market is extremely challenging to find deals. So I'm trying to move a little bit further north we did a deal in College Park, Georgia in March. And so we're looking at some stuff around there in South Carolina. So for me, it's focusing on kind of the basic blocking and tackling with my team, like making sure I'm underwriting deals quickly and getting offers out to get stuff under contract. And then using, like I was talking about, a system to help get the rest of the transaction going so that I'm free to focus on finding the next deal and raising capital. Got it.
Now, I know that, you already, again, came with a lot of experience to our Warrior program. And I think you mentioned, and I don't know if you did it while we were recording or not, that the biggest value for you was the due diligence, I believe, and having access to your coach to run questions by. And I know you had a kick-ass coach in our team. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah. Like I said, the first 3 multifamily deals I did, I came in as the partner responsible for raising the capital, but a really good partner, developer partner, they were new construction stuff. And, I didn't know, there were some parts of that where I just didn't know what I didn't know, because he had always placed the debt into, he had arranged for all the debt. I was arranging all the equity. We had our different roles there. And then when it came to existing, what I was really looking for help with was just, what to look for, what do we need to do when we're examining a building? What do we need to watch out for in the contracts and vendors and et cetera?
So it wasn't just the due diligence; it was actually the deal flow and managing the deal through to closing as well.
Yeah, it was everything from once when I started, I had zero experience with what happens from the point they accept the LOI until we actually close. I mean, I have a lot of experience operating businesses and systems and feel really competent about turning these buildings around and having a good experience once we close. But I didn't have any experience with it before I joined the program.
Yeah.
Were there any memorable hurdles in that process that you could share with the people listening that you remember?
I don't know if we have that much time. We probably don't have that much time, right, Paul?
Yeah, the answer is it's been different on every deal. Like something always pops up. And I had my last deal, the whole process to try and get it closed was just a giant headache. It felt like I was constantly trying to keep everyone on the same page. And so I have this person working for me now, and her job is to manage, all of our acquisitions and the closing part of it. And we're in the middle of an acquisition right now, and it's been a breeze. She's kind of like, "What? This isn't." So
she's like a closing coordinator, and just making all the requests. Like I just saw in my email, I just got a request for some more documents on this San Antonio deal we're doing, and so it's doing that stuff and following up on that. And that's awesome. Well, guys, by the way, if you've heard us talk about the Warrior program, if you're interested in applying for that, text the word crush. We like that word because we want to help you crush it in this business. And frankly, our Warriors are crushing it. We're approaching 46,000 units owned, and I've only been teaching for 4 years, which I'm super proud of. So text the word crush to 72345 to apply for the program. Again, that's crush to 72345. And we'll see if you're a fit for us, and vice versa. You can see if we're a fit for you. But really proud of what we're accomplishing. So let me ask you this: what words of wisdom would you share with an aspiring investor? And there's lots of them that listen to and watch this show on YouTube and all the other platforms. But what would you tell them, Paul?
I think having people to talk to that are interested in the same things you are is so valuable. People that are going through the same experiences as you. My favorite quote is that Jim Rohn quote about you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. And so, I think even if I don't have a permanent long-term partner right now, I definitely have a lot of people I consider my partners. And I've really enjoyed some of the people I've met at conferences and through the program, because I some of the people we just talked about earlier, like I call them to share ideas and say, hey, especially if they're local to me, have you seen this deal? What did you come up with it? So it's really valuable to share ideas and ask questions.
Yeah.
Well, I know you mentioned you've had, obviously this year it's been great for you, but it's not all been daisies and roses. It sounds like, you've had some down times as well to where maybe deal flow hasn't been as strong. Well, what, in your opinion, what do you think is the biggest or most common reason for people failing in this business when they're getting into it?
Gosh, I don't know. I think you have to have a certain amount of drive, and you can't give up, and you have to be resourceful. So you may not have all the resources that you think you need, but it's not always about resources. It's about being resourceful. And sometimes that means putting your hand up and saying, hey, I need help. I'm trying to get this done. Have you ever run into this? I've texted Rod before and said, hey, on that family office deal, I said, hey, these guys want to write a big check. What do you think? And get a little nugget of wisdom from someone else who's maybe seen something before. And there's been deals. I had a deal fall apart last March, right when COVID was starting. I had some investors bail, and some partners didn't get along with each other, and the whole thing kind of fell apart. And I was left with, no income after 3 months of work, wondering, geez, what am I going to do next? And I was just via reaching out, we ended up getting our next deal, under contract a couple months later. And I had 2 new partners on that deal that I didn't even know at the time that the previous deal fell apart, just because I reached out and networked and asked for help.
Because you landed like a cat, and you took action, whatever it took.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what questions do you think someone should ask themselves that are important if they're considering this business? And I know we didn't prep you for any of this, so you're landing like a cat right now.
Yeah. No, one thing I really like about your conferences and the program is when you take some time to think about where you're going. Because I think if you get that vision, and that's actually, this is my one of my vision boards right here behind me, it's hung up so that I can see it every day. And I think when you know where you're going, it's easier to achieve what you want to achieve. So, the question you ask yourself is, do I have the right, especially for people that are married, like, does my partner understand what I'm trying to achieve here? Are they supportive? Do I have the right support system around me? And, am I going to see this through to the end?
Yeah. Awesome answer.
Yeah, absolutely love that. So last one here for you, Paul. For people listening that have not yet started, they've been listening to the podcast, they're learning. In 30 seconds or less, what's a message that you want to give to these people that haven't yet started?
You have to take the first step. And I really think anybody can build the life that they want and achieve what they want to achieve. They just take that first step and start taking action. So when you take massive action, you get massive results. I'm a big student of Tony Robbins. I really believe in this mindset mentality that helps you achieve what you want to achieve. And I had been listening to a whole bunch of podcasts because I didn't know what a real estate syndicator was. You know, I came with this financial advisory, private equity background, and I was immediately attracted to your message because I know you've implemented a lot of that. It's not just about the material, you know, it's about your belief system. And so, you know, being on your podcast was one of my career goals, something that I really wanted to achieve. And so this is a great honor for me, and I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, buddy. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. So I can't wait to hear what the next big milestone is for you, my friend. So make sure you email it to me. All right.
I will.
Take care, guys. We'll see you later.
Take care.
Thanks, Paul. See you.
Rod, I know a lot of our listeners are wanting to take their multifamily investing business to the next level. Now, I know you've been hard at work helping our Warrior students do just that using our ACT methodology, which is awareness, close, and transform. Can you explain to the listeners how they can get our help?
You bet. Guys, we've been going nonstop for 3 years, building an amazing community of like-minded people. And our coaching students, which we call our Warriors, have had extraordinary results. They've purchased thousands and thousands of units. And last year, we did over 1,000 units with our students. And we're looking to grow this group and take it to the next level. We're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework that's really step by step, and then leverage our systems and network to raise equity, to find and close deals, and to build partnerships nationwide. Now, our Warrior community is finding success in any market cycle. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more of our incredible network and take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are coming very soon, apply to work with us at mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 41411. That's mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 41411.